We live in a world that is terrified of a single second of silence. Have you noticed it? The elevator ride, the queue at the coffee shop, the red light in traffic, the commercial break. The moment there is a gap in noise, the hand smoothly goes down into your pocket. And then the thumb starts scrolling. We are feeding ourselves a constant diet of digital sugar. And just like the junk food, it tastes good in the moment. Too good in the moment. But it leaves us starving for something real. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, team, as I usually do in this show. I thought I was above this. I thought that I was too disciplined, too focused, too resilient to fall into the trap of this digital dopamine loop. But I was wrong. I can admit that now. And realizing I was wrong was one of the scariest and most important moments of the last few months for me. Today we're not just talking about screen time, quote unquote. We are talking about the difference between pleasure and joy, and there is an important difference. One is a cheap hit that disappears after the second you close the app. The other is a slow burn that makes your life actually feel worth living. And if you've been feeling restless, distracted, or just off, despite doing everything right, this conversation is for you. Hey team, it's your coach Bart Walsh here, and welcome back to the Built Resilient podcast. I'm a motivational speaker, I am a fitness expert, and I am beyond excited that you are here today. This is a show where we strip away the fluff and we talk about what it actually takes to build a life of substance. No toxic positivity, no empty hype here. First off, Happy New Year. This episode will come out in the first or second week of January, and we are officially in the thick of it. 2026 is here. And if you tuned in to the last few episodes, we talked about setting your compass for 2026. We talked about moving from overwhelm to a focused action, and I hope you have set those two simple pillars already that we discussed in that last episode. But today, team, I want to talk about the invisible force that is trying to knock you off your compass every single day. And if you are listening to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify and you enjoy these honest conversations, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. It certainly helps us cut through the noise, which ironically is exactly what we are talking about today. I am a part of the problem, but also hopefully a part of the solution. We are talking about dopamine. We are talking about distraction. We are talking about how to reclaim the ability to just be where you are. Now, one thing I've discovered about this show is that it's slowly turning into a bit of therapy for me. It allows me to work through the problems that I have in my life in hopes that these problems can resonate with you and together we can find a solution. And so, in the name of vulnerability, I do want to share something with you today. Because as a coach and as the resilience guy, there is an expectation that I have my habits perfectly locked down. And for the most part, I think I do. My training is consistent, my nutrition is dialed in, my self-care mentally is getting a lot better. But over the last few months, something insidious started happening. It wasn't a sudden crash, it was a slow creep. I started noticing that my hand was moving before my brain even knew it. I'd be standing in the kitchen, waiting for the kettle to boil to make a delicious AeroPress Supreme Bean coffee, and my phone was out. I'd be sitting on the couch with my family, and there was a lull in conversation, and all of a sudden, my phone was out. I would take it out of my pocket, I'd unlock it, I'd scroll it for 3 seconds, see nothing, and then put it back. And I wasn't looking for anything. I was looking away from the moment that I was in. I could physically feel my body desperately searching for a hit, itching for it, a ping, a like, a flash of color, anything to spike the dopamine in my brain. It felt like an itch that I just couldn't scratch, and I realized I am addicted. Me, the discipline guy, the mindset guy, the resilience guy. I was being played by the algorithm just like everyone else out there. And if I'm honest with you, it was scary because I realized that while I was physically present in the room, my mind was being rented to my phone. So over the Christmas holidays, I made a decision. I didn't throw the phone in the ocean, although that would have been very dramatic and probably very satisfying. I didn't go and live in a cave and go off-grid. I just made a conscious effort to create distance, to leave the phone in the other room and to turn it off. And if I'm honest with you, I wasn't absolutely perfect. I still reached for it every now and then, but the difference, well, it was profound. The static noise that was in my head had all of a sudden started to go. I felt happier, not excited, just content. I felt more creative. Ideas started coming back because I wasn't drowning in them with someone else's content. And most importantly, I felt present. And that's when I knew we had to have this conversation and start this episode. Team, we need to define terms here because we use the word happiness to describe two very different biological processes. And understanding the difference is the key to breaking this addiction loop. The first is the dopamine chase. This is what could also be known as pleasure. Dopamine is a molecule of more. It is an anticipation molecule. It says, get that, eat that, click that. It's a short term, it is visceral, and it is, ladies and gentlemen, very, very addictive. Modern tech, processed food, online shopping, they're all engineered to hijack this dopamine system. The problem with dopamine is that it has a crash. What goes up must come down, and when it comes down, it leaves you feeling empty, anxious, and waiting for another hit. The second process I want to highlight is the serotonin oxytocin glow, also known as joy. This is the molecule of here and now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is contentment, it's connection, it's satisfaction, it's peace. Joy doesn't spike and crash, it hums. It comes from things that are often boring to the dopamine brain. A long walk, a deep conversation, reading a book, building something slowly. And team, here is the trap that I think a lot of us are in. We are trying to fill joy-sized holes with dopamine-sized snacks. We feel lonely, which is a need for connection. It's a need for this joy. It's a need for oxytocin. So we scroll on Instagram, which gives us dopamine. It doesn't work. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. You just end up thirstier. When I did put my phone away over the Christmas period, the first thing I felt was boredom. Yep, that thing. And we get taught that boredom is bad, that boredom is a waste of time. But I discovered that boredom is actually the way. Boredom, in a way, is a gateway. When you stop numbing the boredom with a screen, your brain has to wake up. It starts looking for things to do. Maybe I'll play with the kids. Maybe I'll write that idea down. Maybe I'll write a poem. Maybe I'll just look at the beautiful view that is in Wangaratta in northeast Victoria. We are killing our creativity because we never let ourselves get bored enough to have an original thought. Resilience in this sense isn't about enduring the pain. It's not about just staying inside the dopamine loop. It's about enduring the absence of stimulation. So enough expository text. How do we fix this? I'm not going to tell you to delete all of your apps. I think that is in most cases, a losing battle. We live in a modern world. There are tools we need to use for work and for a better life, but we need to stop being used by them. And so here are 3 strategies to move from dopamine to joy. The first is to create friction. Sounds counterintuitive, but stay with me. In our nutrition episode a few episodes back, we talked about designing your environment so that you don't have to rely on willpower. And the same rule applies here. If the phone is in your pocket, you will use it. That is biology. The strategy, create physical distance. When you get home, put your phone in a bowl in the hallway. You know that bowl that's got spare batteries and rubber bands and paper clips? That one. Or you can charge it in the kitchen, but not the bedroom. Make yourself walk 10 steps to get that dopamine hit. You'll be surprised how often you'll decide it's not worth the walk. Strategy number 2 is the look up rule. And this is one I started using during the Christmas experiment. If I am walking, waiting, or transitioning between tasks, no phone. If I'm in an elevator, I just stand there. If I'm waiting for a coffee, I look around, I smile. I want you to train your brain to be comfortable with this gap, with this silence. Reclaim those in-between moments of your life. These are the moments where your nervous system actually gets to reset. And strategy number 3 is to choose analog joy. Dopamine is digital. Joy is usually analog. You can't get deep fulfillment from a screen. It's biologically impossible. The strategy? Pick one activity that involves your hands or your full attention and has no screen involved. It could be cooking. It could be lifting weights, my personal favorite, without scrolling between your sets. It could be playing a board game. It could be writing with a pen. Engage your physical world, because that is where the serotonin lives. And once again, to start 2026, I want to flip the script of the challenge this week. I don't need to challenge you. I don't want to give you a strict digital detox challenge because that feels like a punishment. I don't want to do that to you. I want you to feel empowered rather than restricted. So here is the thought I want to leave you with. Your attention is your life. Whatever you pay attention to, that is what your reality becomes. If you pay attention to outrage, the comparison culture, and the noise that is on your screen, your life becomes noisy and anxious. If you pay attention to your family, your thoughts, your health, and the world right in front of you, your life becomes rich. You are the gatekeeper. The algorithm is designed to break down that gate, but you are stronger than the algorithm. And so my challenge to you is simply an invitation to notice. I want you to notice that twitch. I want you to notice the phantom reach down to your pocket. And when you feel it, I want you to ask yourself, am I looking for something? Or am I hiding from this present moment? When I did finally decide to put the phone down over Christmas, I didn't just get my time back, I got me back. I felt like the version of Bart that I wanted to be, a present one, the one that is patient, the one who is listening, the one who is actually where he is in the world. And team, you deserve to be here too. 2026 is going to be an enormous year, and I do not want you to watch it through your screen. I want you to live it. Team, my name is Bart Walsh. This is the Built Resilient podcast. I am a motivational speaker. I am a fitness expert. And team, I want you to put the phone down. And I want you to look up. And I want you to make this year not just the best one you've ever had, but also the most present one that you have ever had. And if you know someone that needs this message too, the best thing you can do for me and for them is to share this episode with them. We broach these topics from a place of empathy and a place of meeting you where you're at. And every little share goes one step further into getting this beautiful message out to so many more people. So thank you for being a part of this message. Thank you for listening to this show. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. 2026 for Built Resilient is going to be enormous. Team, enjoy your day, your evening, or your afternoon. And let's get after 2026. Remember to choose resilience.